Salvete. This is Acroasis XIX, that is lecture 19, from Caput Octavum, chapter 8, pages 63 through 64. Today we're going to talk about the third conjugation in the present and the imperfect, as well as the present imperative forms. Recognitio, de prima et secunda coniugatione, on the first and the second conjugation. We have come to recognize the first conjugation because the second principal part ends in are, are, such as amo, amare. We have come to recognize the second conjugation because it ends in a long re, such as audeo, audere. We have also learned that for first and second conjugation, we find our present stem by removing the re from that second principal part. So for amo, amare, our present stem is ama. For audeo, audere, our present stem is aude. For third conjugation, which is what we're learning today, it's slightly different. The third conjugation you can recognize because its second principal part ends in ere. Now I know what you're thinking, that looks just the same as the second conjugation, but it's not. You'll notice I did not put a macron over that first e, and that will change the pronunciation. Remember how I said audeo, audere? Well, with this conjugation, it will be a bit different, such as duco, ducere, duco, ducere. Notice that first e in duco, ducere, that first e is short. So let's talk about how to find the present stem, because it's a different rule. You'll want to be sure to write this down. To find the present stem of a third conjugation verb, you go to the second principal part and you drop ere, which in the case of duco, ducere leaves you with duc. To form the present tense from this verb, we must add what I like to call vowel glue. That is the fishhook. The fishhook is so called because that vowel glue that we have to add is going to be an extra I and a U. Let me demonstrate. Our endings will be o, is, it, imus, itis, und. And these only occur in the present tense. You've seen this pattern before in bo, bis, bit, bimus, bitis, bunt. You've also seen it in the future forms of sum, ero, eris, erit, erimus, eritis, erunt. Demonstrabo, I will show you how. So we're going to take that present stem, and how do we find that? Well, let's look at our example verb. We have scribo, scribere, scripsi, scriptum. Write in your notes what you think the present stem is, and then look up at me. If you said scrib, you were correct. So let's go through those forms. Scribo, scribis, scribit, scribimus, scribitis, scribunt. Take a moment and write this example down in your notes. Pause the video if you need to. Nunc demonstrate mihi. Now you show me that you understand. We're going to use that same verb, duco, ducere. First, what is your present stem? At this time, write down your present stem 6 times for first, second, and third person singular and plural. Then, when you're ready, pause the video and write down the conjugation of duco in the present tense. Resume when you have finished. All right, let's check our work. Duco, ducis, ducit, ducimus, ducitis, ducunt. Let's move on. Third conjugation, for forming the imperfect tense. The imperfect tense gives us nothing new. We take the present stem we're going to have BA, but this time it will be EBA plus our personal ending. So let's look at the example that we have here using the new verb from our vocabulary, traho, trahere, traxi, tractum, meaning I drag. We have trahebam, trahebas, trahebat, trahebamus, trahebatis, trahebant. Pause the video and write this example down. Let's go on. Now that you've seen how to do it, demonstrate mihi, show me that you know how to do it. We're going to use that same verb again, duco. What's our present stem? Go ahead and write that down 6 times for me, and then fill in the rest of the material. Resume the video when you have finished. All right, let's check our work. Ducebam, ducebas, ducebat, ducebamus, ducebatis, ducebant. Mustaches and hats, children and rats. Let's do some practice sententiae, some practice sentences. For the first 2 sentences, we will use the verb gero, gerere, gesi, gestum, which can mean, among other things, to wear. So first we'll talk about women wearing hats. Yesterday, the women were wearing hats. Heri, feminae, petassos. Now we just need our verb. Pause the video and put in the correct form of gero. Resume the video when you have written it down on your paper. Did you write gerebant? If you did, that's correct. Now we're going to switch it out. Today, the women are wearing mustaches. It could happen. So, heri feminae mustaches. Pause the video and write down the correct form. Remember, the action's happening today, so we want the present tense. Resume when you have written it down on your paper. Did you write heri feminae mustaches gerunt? If so, your answer is correct. The next example we're going to use will require the verb duco, ducere, duxi, ductum. And you've been working with this one up to now, so you know it pretty well. But write down the principal parts for a record. So we're going to talk about this in terms of the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin. We'll have the flute player, the piper, the tibiken. So we want to say, yesterday, the piper was leading the rats. So, heri, tibiken, ratos. Pause the video and write down the correct form of duco. Did you write ducebat? If so, you have the right answer. Well, we know how this story ends, or if you don't, look it up. Today, the piper leads away the children. Today, the piper leads the children. So we have heri, tibiken, pueros. And what's the best form? Pause the video, write it down in your paper, and then resume. Did you write ducit? Today, the Pied Piper leads the children. Tertiā coniugatio de modo imperativo. We're going to talk about how to form the imperative, how to make commands. It's not that hard. For the singular imperative, that is the second person singular present imperative, we take that present stem and we add an E to it. To make the second person singular plural imperative, we take that present stem and we add ite to it. Therefore, if I tell one person to drag something, I say trahe. If I'm telling everyone to drag something, I say trahite. If I'm telling just you right now, taking your notes, if I'm telling you alone to write something, I say scribe. But when I'm in front of the class and I want everyone to write something down, I say scribite. Easy as could be. Now, for your homework, fill out the Google form. I'll put that URL up on the screen, and I will see you tomorrow. Valete omnes.